Okay, and you guys can see my screen?
Yes, sure.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. My name is Tendai, and I am the founder and I'm a lead trainer at Skilled Business Analyst. I think you might have heard a few things from Farai or Sam, but basically we offer training in all the IIBA certifications, the core certifications, namely CBAP, CCBA and ECBA. In this presentation today, I'll be taking you through the application process as well as the exam structure of these exams, right, of these specific certifications. Samuel did approach me saying that, you know, there was an expressed interest within the Zimbabwe business analysis community to learn more about IIBA certifications and actually do the courses. And I said, before you guys even think about doing the courses, I think it's very important that I outline the application process, very important that I outline the exam fee, the exam structure, so that you know exactly what you're dealing with and you know whether you qualify for these exams. So it's really a pleasure to be giving back to the Zimbabwe community. My career started in South Africa at University of Cape Town. I've got about 14 years working experience. I worked primarily within banks in South Africa. I've recently relocated to Canada. It's been about 2.5 years, and I'm working in corporate Canada right now as a product owner / business analyst. So I'm very excited to be here, and I'm so excited to see so many faces of business analysis in Zimbabwe. I think with the rate of COVID, with the digitalization that's coming above, I think there's just going to be really a resurgence of business analysis. So it's so exciting to see that the chapter back home. I know the chapter is work in progress, but it's so exciting to see so many professionals really within this industry. Before I get started, I've put here all our social media handles for the Skilled BA. Please feel free to follow us on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, right? We've got very exciting content that we share. We really educating and engaging a lot of business analysis professionals. So you'll really see a lot of material that you guys will benefit from. So the agenda for today really is I want to take you through the IIBA, just an overview of what the IIBA is all about. I'm going to talk about CBAP, the application process. I'll talk about CCBA. I'll also talk about ECBA. And at the end of that, I'll go into more detail in terms of how the skilled business analyst, how here we can really help you take your career to the next level within business analysis. Right, before I start, I think a round table is in order, really just your name, your years of experience practicing as a business analyst. I always categorize it according to senior, intermediate, and entry level. And really, I would love to know what you're looking to get out of the session so I can make sure that I meet your needs. And yeah, let's start. I'm going to go in alphabetical order, right? Actually, in the order of the participants that it shows me. And the first one is my co-host, Ingrid. Do you want to break the ice?
Hi, everyone. I'm Ingrid, and I am from South Africa. And I have known Tendai for many, many, many years. She's practically my mentor, and I've been working in the business analysis field for the past maybe 7 years. And I would say I'm an intermediate to almost senior business analyst. And what I'm looking to get out of the session is to make a more informed decision on the CBAP, registration for CBAP. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Ingrid. Good to see you, and thank you for your support always. I'll move on to Diana. Diana, can you hear us?
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Diana.
Okay, great. My name is Diana Chodeva, and I'm based in South Africa. I've been, I would say, a business analyst. I've been mainly a consultant in this area. My background is in accounting and auditing. So the business analysis aspect kind of came into it, but not as detailed as you are, Tendai. And I'm hoping to find out a bit more about, what the steps would be to actually become a skilled business analyst. Yeah.
Thank you, Diana. Great to have you here. I think hopefully I'll meet your expectations. That's exactly what I'm going to be taking you guys through the presentation. So thank you again for being here. I'll move on to Farai.
Hi everyone, my name is Farai Mosha. I can say that I've been a BA for the better part of 5 years now. Let's just say 4 years. But I've held a different title, but then I have been practicing. Only recently did I manage to get the proper title, but the practicing has been the same. With the session, really, I would want to know what it entails for me to get to a point of attaining the CBAP certification, and what the amount of work that I need to put in. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Farai. You're in the right place. Thank you very much. I'll move on to Melissa. Hi, Melissa.
Hey everyone, my name is Melissa Magwisi. I'm based in Zimbabwe. Years of experience practicing as a business analyst. I guess I've been a business analyst since 2015. But then my role was a systems analyst, but I was interchanging with those roles. Prior to that, I was a systems engineer, and very recently I moved to an official BA role in October last year. So I'm looking to qualify and get a certification for this, and that's why I'm in the session.
Fantastic. Thanks, Melissa, for joining us. I think you will get the information that you need. Thank you so much. I'll move on to movement.
Hi, Tendai, very much for the session. My name is Movement Msasiwa. I am, I've got multiple roles, but I am a systems engineer slash business analyst. I don't have a full-time role as a business analyst, but I am working as a product manager and also as a systems analyst. So yeah, part of what I do from a business from a product management perspective now is to do with the product realization process, so which I will look into as more of the analysis side. So yes, that is where I am. Yes, in terms for the years of experience, I've been in the industry for the past 16 years, but as a systems engineer and a systems analyst. I started being a business analyst slash product manager around about 2014 thereabouts, up until now. Of course, now I've moved to a higher level where I'm now in charge of skills development. I'm looking forward to getting to know more about how I can be a fully fledged business analyst. Yeah, because that's where my passion lies. Everything else that I do, if you look at what I've been doing, I think for the past 5-6 years, has been revolving around this the whole business analysis process. So I'm looking forward to knowing what it takes for me to be a qualified business analyst. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thanks, Movement. You'll actually realize that you've been, I meet a lot of people who stumble into business analysis, or a lot of people who've been doing business analysis and who also say, I want to be a fully fledged business analyst, but you'll realize that you already are. Certification is just the cherry on the icing. So hopefully you'll be able to get that information from this session. Thank you so much. We'll move on to Nomathemba.
Good afternoon, team. I'm Nomathemba Maphosa. I'm at entry level. I'm currently on secondment as a business.
Nomathemba, I think we lost you. You're back on mute. Hi, Nomathemba.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, maybe speak a bit louder.
Okay. I'm Nomathemba Maphosa. I would say I'm at entry level. I'm currently on secondment as a business analyst from the 1st of August this year. and I'm looking forward to getting more information to become a seasoned business analyst.
Thank you, Nomathemba. Welcome to the profession. It's always good to meet entry-level business analysts. I'm sure you'll get a lot from this session. Thank you so much. We move on to Rachel.
Hello, thank you, Tendai. My name is Rachel Makasi. I'm in Zimbabwe. My background is systems analysis and design, systems development and data management. I'm in the research field. So I have more than 10 years experience in this area, and have recently attained my master's in big data analytics and business intelligence. Fantastic. So I have so much interest in business analysis, and I'm also hoping to find out a bit more information on this. And I'm also looking forward to qualify and get certified. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rachel. Congratulations on big data. That's the talk. There's also a big data certification at IIBA, but I'll chat about that a bit later. But thank you so much for joining us, and I'm sure you'll get to learn more about business analysis and the certifications, right? Moving on to Rudo. Afternoon, Rudo.
Good afternoon to you, Tendai. Thank you. My name is Rudo Moyo. I'm based in Zimbabwe. I have development background. I think I have been practicing business analysis for about 4 years now. 2 years I was as a developer and slash business analyst, and then I think for the past 2 years, yeah, I have been practicing as a business analyst. So what I'm looking at getting out of this session, just I would want to certify and just advance my career in the business analyst space.
Yes, thank you so much, Udo. Thank you. I'm sure you will get a lot. I'm sure you moving from development to BA is also a natural progression. So I'm sure you'll get a lot from this session. And Tendai, finally, Tendai.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tendai Kandengo. I'm from South Africa. I've had the pleasure to work with Tendai before, so I'm very happy to join this session. I've been working as a business consultant, and a lot of the work that I've been doing has been around partly advisory, offering advisory services to clients around systems projects and implementations, as well as doing business analysis pieces of work, like preparing the standard business analysis deliverables, like your requirements, your use cases, and all the processes that go along with that. So I've been a business consultant for a long time, close to 20 years. What I'm looking to get out of the session is really the practical side of how do you go about getting certified practically, like understanding the practicalities, how to build up your portfolio of experience and how you go about it. And obviously based on the experience that one has, like where to target, like do you go to the top end, do you start at the middle? That's what I'm looking for.
Thank you so much, T. Really good to see you on this forum. Like you said, we've worked together. I've also had the pleasure of working with you, hard workers. So really great to see you here. Thank you so much, T. Before I start, I also have one special guest with you. I can't ignore her. Mrs. Munjanja, you just want to make maybe a quick introduction?
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Fari Munjanja, and I'm here in Canada with Tendai. I've known Tendai for the past 2 years, and I really admire her for her passion in helping others. I'm also starting my own business as a career coach, employment counselor here in Canada. My background is in human resources, and currently I work as an employment consultant I worked in Zimbabwe for the past, I think, 20, 25 years, and my last position was Human Resources Director. So I really appreciate Tendai giving me this opportunity just to sit in and just to see how she does her work on Zoom. So thank you, Tendai, for giving me this opportunity.
Welcome. And for everyone, Ms. Mjanja does run a career consulting firm. For those people who think of coming to Canada, please do drop her an email. She does a lot of career coaching and counseling for a lot of new immigrants. So if you want, you can just put your email address in the chat just in case someone wants to reach you. That's fine.
Okay, thanks, I'll do it.
Alrighty. Okay, guys, so I think let's start the session. It's 10:20. I'm cognizant of time. So really just to give you an overview of the skilled business analyst, like I said, we're really about CBAP, CCBA, and ECBA prep. I'll go into detail into what each of those are. Like I said, there's other certifications at the IIBA, but we really focused on these three core certifications. IIBA has got security, it's got data analytics. I remember Rachel was talking about big data analytics. They've got also the product ownership. Someone spoke about product management. I think it was movement, right? So there's a lot of, with business analysis, what's happening now is that it's really branching out into different kind of like domains and specializations. So you'll realize that the core certifications still remain, which is CBAP, CCBA, and ECBA, right? Really, what are our principles as a skilled business analyst? Really, I'm not just about giving you information and you guys go out there and you study. Really, I'm all about educating. I'm all about empowering. I'm all about engaging. Like I said, I've been doing this for almost 14 years, and I'm really extremely passionate about coaching, mentoring, a lot of business analysis, and really seeing people like you guys really wanting to take your career to the next level really gives me a lot of inspiration to really try and help you guys. And like I said, CBAP, if you look at any job in the industry here in North America, a de facto when applying for any job is CBAP, right? Even if you look at Australia, the Australian industry as well, it's all about certification. So it's really a powerful qualification to add after your name, because employers do look for these certifications. I will give you guys some statistics as well around, why CBAP is so critical, right? Please feel free to stop me during the presentation. I really want this to be interactive, an interactive dialogue. I don't want to be talking most of the time, so feel free to just really interrupt and just say something if you do want. Right, so really the skilled business analyst, the beauty about the skilled business analyst is like we are virtually online. Everything that we do is online. I think, like I said, with the rise of COVID, you've seen that. I think a lot of companies have seen that a lot of things can be done online. So we really have virtual classrooms. It's 24/7 online support. We've got certified industry instructors, mainly myself, right? Who's got, CBAP, who's got years of experience. And really the fact that it's online, I can work with anyone around the world. That's why I felt it was important to really give back to you guys, help the BA community back home, tell you guys what this entails, and you guys can make a decision as to whether you want to proceed or not, right? So let me just go with the IIBA overview. So we're going to start with the chapter 1, which is the IIBA overview. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about the Institute of International Business Analysis, right? So really it's the governing body for business analysis. They want to push for standards within the business analysis profession, just like you have with accounting. If I think back in South Africa, there's SICA. In Zimbabwe, I think there's IPMZ, there's IMM, all of these kind of like governing bodies. It's the same with business analysis. The global governing body is IIBA, right? And they really are the thought leader. They really are the voice driving business analysis standards, practices, and adoptions within different chapters, right? So really, they've got about 29,000 members. I've just put some statistics there. 120 chapters. Sorry, guys, you'll see me looking this way. I've got 2 screens right in front of me. 120 chapters. They've got about 300 corporate members. And they've got what are called endorsed education providers who help with training people who want to do CBAP, right? I know the Zimbabwe chapter is a work in progress. Sam has been working really hard, and Farah as well, to try and get the chapter up and running. And I know that's work in progress, and I'm sure you guys will be a chapter soon, right? So I think this is a question that I just wanted to put there. I think if you guys can go to, I'm going to put this into the chat, right? I'm going to put this link into the chat in terms of why do you guys really want to get a certification? I know most of you have said that, let me just see. Most of you have said that, you really want to up your skills, you really want to become recognized and so forth. So I think let's just use a minute. If you go to this menti.com and you go here and you enter this code, right? And I'll put the code here in the chat as well. Right. Please let me know if you have accessed menti.com. Actually, I sent it to Ingrid, so I'm just gonna send it to everyone. Sorry, guys. So here's the link, and here's the code. So if you can just go to this link, and then you type in the code, just to give me a response in terms of why do you want to get a business analysis certification? Are you guys able to access the link and the code? You've got 3 options to type in. Let me know, please. Any luck, guys?
Just give me a few more seconds.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Okay, I see some responses coming here, and I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, so you guys can still type. I'll just share the responses that I'm getting here. Recognition, standardizing, international, dream to be certified, empowerment as a female. I like that. I'm all about female empowerment. Recognition, professional recognition, standardizing. Yeah, I think these are really great ideas to become certified, and also self-actualization, really saying that you're now at the cream of the crop in your profession and you've really gotten to the top, right? So these are really great ideas, you know, to get certified, your thoughts around certification. I'll share that as well. I'm going to proceed with the presentation. Right, so I've just put here the benefits of business analysis certification, right? It's really about really becoming globally recognized. So not only are you going to be recognized within Zimbabwe, you'll be recognized throughout the world, right? As a global recognized business analyst. Also, you'll be able to enhance your career prospects. Like I said, you know, speaking last year during the pandemic, I was speaking to one of my industry peers, and they were saying they were getting quite a lot of applications for business analysis roles, for some of the roles they put out there. And I asked them, what is the criteria that you guys are using to screen? And they said, Tendai, the first thing I look at is whether you've got a CBAP or not. If you don't have CBAP, your application's on the side. So really the first thing some employers are looking to screen for business analyst roles, you know, overseas here in North America, is a certification, which is like CBAP, CCBA, ECBA, whatever the level of the role is. So really very important to enhance your career prospects, really seen as competent in your profession. I think some of you guys said that in the previous surveys that I did, and self-actualization. And really the IIBA really runs a survey every year, right, around business analysis, the profession as a whole in general. And in 2019, they really found out that 19% of respondents earned more, right? Those people who said that they had CBAP in 2019. Last year in 2020, it was 12%, right? That earned more than average, those with certification. So really earning potential, there's definitely an advantage. And it's so great, like I said before, that you guys are considering getting certified, right? I also thought it's important to put this really, to really show where the profession is going, right? COVID has accelerated the rate at which analysis is required, business analysis required. It's accelerated the rate of digitalization in organizations. So really the World Economic Forum, I always refer to the statistics, the top 10 skills of 2025. You'll see that critical thinking and analysis, right, which is all about business analysis, analytical thinking and innovation, right? All of these skills that they have mentioned are the core of what we do as business analysts. So really these top 10 skills in the next, how many is it, 4 years now, right? Problem solving, right? Anything that's blue is indicated as problem solving, and business analysts, we're problem solving experts, we're value creators, right? So we're really indicating that the skill that we are doing as, the skills that we have as business analysts are going to be in demand in the future, not only now, right? Also, LinkedIn does a survey in terms of the top skills companies need most, and this is from 2020. You'll see here business analysis was ranked 6th, right? And you'll even see the top 5 skills: creativity, persuasion, collaboration, adaptability, emotional intelligence. For me, these 5 top skills, soft skills, again, at the heart of how we interact with our stakeholders as business analysts, how we think of the solutions that we do as business analysts. So really, the numbers, the statistics, the research is really indicating how strong our profession is, really indicating to say that there's so much space for growth, there's so much room for development. And I really think that getting certified definitely will put you above the rest, right? Right, I briefly spoke about this, right? There's 3 core certifications, which is the Certified Business Analyst Professional, the CCBA, Certification of Capability in Business Analysis, and then there's the Entry Certificate in Business Analysis, right? The way I look at these certifications, CBAP for me is the senior level, certification. Then we've got CCBA, which is more intermediate, and then we've got the ECBA, which is entry level. I'll go into the number of years and so forth as I go into each one of these certifications, right? Before I move on to chapter 2, chapter 1 was IIBA Overview, just a summary. We covered what IIBA is all about. We covered the certifications. We covered why you need to get certified, right? Any questions, or are you guys clear on that specific chapter? And you can just type in the chat if you're good, and then we can proceed. Okay, Farah is good. Okay. I'm going to assume we're all good, and I'm going to go to the next slide. Right. So let's look at the senior level qualification. Thanks to that. The senior level qualification, which is CBAP, right? So here, one thing you must realize is that before you even want to sit down and write the CBAP exam, there's an application process that you must do. Once you apply, you'll either be approved to write the exam, or you can go under audit, where they actually want to check and make sure that you are actually eligible to write the CBAP exam. So before you even think about the exam, first, I think the focus must be on the application. What is the application all about? What is required? And this is what I'm going to walk you guys through today, right? So really, when it comes to the CBAP application, there's 2, 4, 5 important things that you guys need to be aware of. And really, this is where you'll start taking notes in terms of what you guys need to know already. So in terms of hours, there's a requirement around hours, which I'll go into detail the next slide. There's requirement around the knowledge areas. So the IIBA works with what's called a business analysis book of knowledge, which I call the Bible of business analysis, because really that's where all the material, the reference material for the exam comes through. That's BA box. So you'll hear me saying BA box a lot. So that's the business analysis book of knowledge, right? There's also something around professional development over the past 4 years, and the number of hours. There's also references that you'll be required, and then you'll also have to pay an application fee. So this is the first thing. I'm going to go into detail into each one of these points. Feel free to stop me. I think this is where, when it comes to application, this is really where due diligence is very important, to make sure that once you submit, you're approved to write the exam. You don't go, if you do go through auditing, you're still able to prove that you're still eligible to write your exam, right? So let's go into the number of hours, the first point, right? That's required for you to apply for the CBAP. So you basically need 7,500 hours of BA work experience in the past 10 years, right? So a lot of you guys have said, although you didn't have the formal title of business analysis, a lot of you guys have been practicing business analysis. And like I said, a lot of people stumble onto the profession. So really, it's not about having the title. It's really about doing the actual tasks, activities, the day-to-day, activities that are associated with business analysis. So really, the experience must be in line with the definition of business analysis, right, as per the BA BOK, right? And the experience must include tasks and functions as per the 6 knowledge areas, right? And I'm going to put the 6 knowledge areas here. The BA BOK, like I said, has got 6 core knowledge areas that you guys are supposed to be competent in. Any business analyst must be competent in each of these 6 areas: strategy analysis, business analysis, planning and monitoring, elicitation and collaboration, requirements analysis and design definition, solution evaluation, and requirements lifecycle management. Again, when you are now studying for the CBAP, we'll be going into more detail into each one of these. But at a high level, it's important to know what these 6 core areas are all about, so that when you are now actually putting your hours down, right, to say in terms of my BA work experience, this is exactly what I've been doing, because they do check to make sure that it's aligned with each one of these knowledge areas, right? Any questions, guys? Am I making sense? Do you want clarification on anything? Because I think the due diligence for this is quite important. You guys are good. I'm going to keep on checking in. You guys are good.
Nothing from my end today for now.
Okay, thank you, Sam. All right.
Yeah, it's all is well with me. Please go ahead.
Okay, great. Thank you, guys. Right. So really, let's make sure that when you're documenting your hours of BA work experience, right, you are looking to make sure that you have been doing business analysis as per each one of these 6 knowledge areas. Again, this is where the skilled BA, we work closely with you to identify the actual work that you've been doing. We've got a spreadsheet that we actually work with all of our specific candidates where we actually say, okay, tell us about your projects that you've worked over the past few years and see how, how that really matches up to 7,500 hours. So what I really suggest to a lot of people is that when you start thinking about taking the CBAP exam, you need to think about the past 10 years, right? And start just jotting down the projects that you've worked on as a business analyst, right, over the past 10 years, and start putting down what you were doing in those projects in very basic terms, right? Then when you meet with, an education provider, like it's the skilled BA, I'll be able to tell you, okay, no, what you were doing here, movement goes under strategy analysis. What you're doing here goes under requirements analysis, design definition, and so forth. So really it's about reflecting, looking back over the past 10 years, writing down your projects, writing down what you're doing, making sure for each of those projects, you've actually got a reference point, right? Because like I'll show you later on in the presentation, when you are documenting your hours of experience, right, over the past 10 years, it's not just about saying, I worked on this project, these were the tasks I did. It's I worked on this project from this date to this date. These were the tasks that I did that are in line with this knowledge area, and I will refer you to Mr. or Mrs. X, Y, and Z on this number. So everything really needs to be transparent so that they will be able to give you afford you the opportunity to do the CBAP. If it's not transparent, that's when you undergo auditing prior to being approved, right? If that makes sense. Okay, let's go to the next requirement for CBAP, right? So once you've documented your 7,500 hours in the past 10 years, now they want to know whether you've completed a set number of hours in the knowledge areas, right? So like I said, the knowledge areas, there's 6 knowledge areas, right? You must have completed 900, right? In each of these, right? So again, start building your portfolio of evidence before you even start the application process. This is something that you can start doing now, right? Necessary due diligence to look back on your career over the past 10 years and document, right? And this is where I always say, this is where the due diligence is required, right? Because as candidates, you guys really need to look back on your work history, document the number of hours spent in each knowledge area, right? And I always say, before this is done, compile your own portfolio of evidence. In a lot of work that I've done, I've realized that sometimes we forget, sometimes we're so busy and everything just goes through and through. But I think it's so important in our careers to just maintain your own personal portfolio of evidence, because you never know when a new opportunity arises, or you never know when, now you want to get certified, you don't want to have that tedious task of looking back. So always complete, especially when you've got big projects, always have a small portfolio of evidence where you're documenting and you're really putting down the key things that you did there, right? Like I said, at the School Business Analyst, we really work closely with our candidates on their portfolio of evidence, and we've got a guided template. And once this is done, documenting the number of hours in each area, I think it will be much easier, right? So the key takeaway really here is really start looking back, similar to the first one, start looking back and start building your portfolio of evidence. And really all of this, guys, is before you've even started the application process. So this is something that you need to doing now if you want to do your CBAP, right? The third point really is they now want 35 hours of professional development in the last 4 years, right? So what do they mean by professional development? Professional development needs to be a course, right? So before I did my CBAP, I also attended a course with one of a training provider in the US, right? So you have to prove that you've actually gone through training, right, over the past 4 years. Content of the training must be in line with the BA book. The current version is version 3, right? Training must be led by a facilitator or instructor who actually walks you through the content, right? The training must have learning objectives, learning outcomes, which correlate with the roles and responsibilities of a BA, right? you as a student must have the ability or the opportunity to be asking questions and ask for clarity, right? And obviously there must be practice tests at the end of each knowledge area so that you can really practice. And this is where I say it's so important. There's a lot of people out there who say they train, but I think it's very important that whenever you're looking for a professional development, a training company, you look at all of these things. And this is where, like I said, at the Skilled Business Analyst, we do fulfill all of this. We make sure that we really guide our candidates through each of the modules, through each of the knowledge areas. We make sure that we've got a lot of practice tests. Again, we've got proven track record of really bringing out a lot of certified individuals within business analysis, right? So again, when looking for a training provider, make sure that they really meet all of this criteria. Again, I will share the slides, I'll share the recording so you can always look back, right? The fourth thing is you need a reference, right? You need a reference from either a CBAP recipient, someone who's already got a CBAP, or from a career manager or a client, right? If you're in the consulting field. You can see there's a chat here. No, unfortunately, for LinkedIn doesn't qualify. You need to make sure that it's instructor-led. So they will make sure that it's actually instructor in class, online. It really needs to be an instructor-led qualification, and they will check that, right? LinkedIn and other courses that you'll just do self-paced online, those work if you're doing the ECBA, which is the entry-level one. But for CBAP, for CCBA, it needs to be instructor-led, right? Application checklist, like I said, okay, we're on the references. You need 2 references from a career manager or a client or from another CBAP recipient. I always say at least your references should have known you for at least 6 months and they can vouch, because what will happen is that your reference will get an email they will need to complete it on your behalf. So you want to make sure that you're choosing someone who's credible, someone who's reliable, someone who you know will come back and really give you a good reference so you can proceed and take the exam, right? And then finally, once you've done all of that due diligence, you've put in your reference, you're now looking at paying about $125 US, right? Just to apply. So this is not even the exam fee. So this is just the application fee, which is non-refundable, right? You're going to pay your $125. You're going to submit everything. Everything is done via online on the IIBA portal, right? And I will put a link in the chat so you guys will know what the IIBA portal is all about. Let me just make sure that I put here. Right? This is the portal that you need to register, first of all. You'd register, you'd create your profile, then you'd submit all of the documentation, and then you would apply. So guys, I'll tell you, when I started, I'm not sure when I started my application, but I think it took me close to 6 months because I really dragged it. When I saw it, I know I've walked through a lot and it sounds overwhelming, it sounds a lot, but what I can share with you is that the earlier you start documenting your experiences, the better it will be for you guys. So really, like I said, start doing if you are serious about taking the certification, start doing your due diligence now so that by the time you are now ready to, you've got the money, you're ready to apply and so forth, you're not in a position where you're now rushing and you're doing it quite quickly. So it is a process. It requires due diligence, but I always say if you're a business analyst, we are analytical, we'll be able to do this. It sounds daunting, it sounds a bit daunting, but you will be able to do this. Any questions, guys, on CBAP before I go into the exam structure? How are you guys feeling? I'm speaking to a lot of names. I can't see anyone's face, so I'll just appreciate if you guys are good. Are you guys good?
Hi, Tendai.
Yes. All right. Mm-hmm.
So when you say that one of the references has to be a CBAP recipient or a career manager, how strict are they with, say, a CBAP recipient? Because as you might know, in Zimbabwe, really their CBAP recipients are very rare.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it can be a CBAP recipient or your career manager, right? Or your career manager. So if you've got your manager at work, right, they can also vouch for you. If you do have, and your CBAP recipient doesn't have to be local. You could even be using Tendai, who's based in Canada, or Mr. X, Y, and Z, who's based in another place. So it's really, for them, it's all about global, right? So you can use anyone from around the world, or you can use your manager. So it's either or. That makes sense.
Yeah, yes, no,
Okay.
thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Farai. Thanks, Mrs. Mujanja. It's going to drop off. Thank you very much for your details on the chat, and we'll connect soon. Okay, let's go on to the exam structure, right? So we've finished that. Let's say you've done your application, you've submitted, by the grace of God, you managed to get approved. Now you're prepping for the exam, right? So here I've just really outlined at a high level what the exam is all about, right? And I'm going to go into each one of these for in detail, right? So in terms of the exam fee, format and length, types of questions, as well as the study content, right? So let's go into the exam fee. So you've done your application, you've done all of that due diligence, you've submitted on the portal. What you must know is that once you've been approved, right, to write the CBAP exam, you've got 1 year. So let's say you submit everything by December 2021. I'm just looking at my calendar here. You will have a year, you'll have until December 2022 to write your IIBA exam, your CBAP exam, right? And then once I think within the year, you've got 3 tries. So if you fail once, you can go back again. If you fail second time, you can go back again. But after the 3rd time, you'd have to wait for that year to lapse. And then you have to resubmit in your application process again and write. So you've got 3 tries during that year to do your CBAP, right? But by then, you won't even do all of those tries because you'll be very serious because you've invested a lot of time and energy into the process, right? So let's go into the exam fee. Right, so the IIBA, yes, Farai, I see Farai's got his hands up.
So on the retries,
yes.
Do you pay an extra amount for when you're retrying?
Yes, so I think I will clarify that, Farai. I know you take 3 times. I don't know if at each time you're paying. But let me clarify that. I don't want to say something that's inaccurate. I'll take that as a takeaway, then I'll send you guys a message. Is that good?
Yeah, no, that's good. Thanks.
Let me make a note of that.
Hi, Tendai.
Yes, Sam.
I have a question around the instructor-led hours. You say there's how many of those that are required?
Let's just go back. I'm just going to go back. 35 hours.
Okay, in the past 4 years.
In the past 4 years.
Okay, okay. So instructor-led hours are different from continuous professional development hours.
Yes.
The ones way between, like attending conferences or, yeah.
Good question. So instructor, continuing professional development units are once you're certified, right? Every 3 years, you have to, renew your certification. You need to make sure that you're still relevant. That's when you enter all of your continuing professional development units. Like, for example, I had to renew my CBAP this year. So I had to say I attended a conference, I was a speaker here, I did this to give back. You know, they're called continuous professional development units. That's once you've been certified. But prior to certification, you need to have shown that maybe during the past 4 years, you did a university course where you actually did business analysis as a subject, right? And you had a lecturer and it was instructor-led. That counts. Maybe you've done a diploma. I know in South Africa, there's a diploma in FTI, Faculty Training Institutes, right? There's also that counts as well. Or maybe you've done it. I know, Sam, you guys did it with BCG, with, what's his name? I can see it.
With Joe Newbert.
Yes, Joe Newbert, exactly. That also counts if you've done it in the past 4 years.
Right? Okay, understand.
So that's the difference. Okay. Just on Farai's questions around retry, do you pay? You see, Farai, I don't even know that question because I can guarantee you the people who come through me and train don't have to retry, just as an FYI, but I'll get back to you with the information of that, right? Okay, let's go on to the exam fee. I think that's where I was, right? And I was saying that there's membership of being, you don't have to become a member of the IIBA, but it's to your advantage, right? To become a member of the IIBA, right? So there's the global IIBA membership, then there's chapter membership. Global, right? Global, the head office sits here in Canada. The global IIBA membership is $325, right? If you have a local chapter, the Zimbabwe chapter, which is still work in progress, but once it's up and running, there's also a fee that you pay there. But for now, you can just be part of the global IIBA, which is $325 per member, right? Again, benefits of being a member, like I said, a lot of benefits. You've got access to extensive business analysis library. I mean, if I was to sign in, I would show you guys the amount of material that I've got access to. You get a lot of access to a lot of, not conferences, but more of webinars. You don't have to be paying, you know, speakers, events, a lot of things that are online now, you don't have to pay. There's a lot of career growth and support that you get from just being a member, right? And of course, there's networking and community. But again, I'll say that these things just don't come automatically. Once you become a member, you actively have to be working within the community to get the networking, to get the career growth, to get the support. But being a member helps you in terms of, you know, the exam fee. You can see here it's $325. If you weren't a member, it would be $450, and then you've got all of these memberships, right? Let's go to the format and length. Any questions on the exam fee before we go to the format and the length? Okay, format and length, you've got 120 multiple choice questions, right, which you're expected to complete in 3.5 hours. It might seem that it's a lot, right, but I'll tell you 3.5 hours goes by fast. It means that you've got an average, I calculated about 1 minute, 1.75 minutes for each question, to answer each question. So really, by the time you get to writing the multiple choice, by the time you get to doing the exam, you must be at a stage where you are really comfortable, you're really confident, you've done a lot of practice tests, you know how to do the exams and so forth. So really, a tip that I always give to my students is make sure that you budget your time wisely. Ensure that you're conscious about time spent on each question. Once you skip a question or once you've done a question, don't look back. Go ahead, don't second guess, right? So that's the format and length of the CBAP exam. Let's go to the type of questions. Because it's CBAP, it's not just memory. It's not just, you know, you're not just coming into whatever you've memorized, you put in there. You're coming here to apply. So it's application, right? So it's scenario based and it's case study questions. So really, what are case study questions really? Right? A case study describes a situation and business problem. It tests candidates' understanding of specific techniques in all the 6 knowledge areas, right? It tests that you guys can apply theoretical knowledge learned to practical situations. And it also tests the candidate's ability to analyze and evaluate the information. Okay, I see Rudo has got an exam. Sorry, a question. Apologies for the delayed raised hand. My question is on the 35 hours. Okay, there are sessions that run weekly or fortnightly on the IIBA where there's a speaker. Okay, just to confirm that counts. So that doesn't count. That counts more for continuing professional development. You know, similar to the question that Samuel had. Those are more once you're certified and you want to maintain your certification. You can say you've really done this. But in terms of the actual 35 hours of professional development, you have to attend an instructor-led course, right? And I'll post more information after the session. I hope that answers your question, Bruno. Okay, where were we? We were on the types of questions. I think I explained what a case study is, high level. Scenario-based questions, really, they test the candidate's understanding, that you guys understand and integrate key concepts of the BA knowledge areas, right? So you want to make sure that you've got really a solid understanding of all 6 areas, right? 6 knowledge areas, like I've shown you guys. You want to make sure that you really understand those 6 knowledge areas. You've really got an intricate knowledge of those 6 knowledge areas. So the thing, I know a lot of people are asking about the 35 hours of professional development. When it comes to CBAP, guys, I'll tell you one thing. You need to know, I don't know if you guys have seen the video. Oh, I'll just take it from my list here, right? It's this orange Bible. So this is a BA book. So, and you get this, once you become a member, this is also an advantage of becoming a member, so you get this book. The CBAP exam, CCBA, ECBA is all based on this. So whether you attend speaking events, whether you attend conferences and so forth, they're not teaching you this. They're more teaching you about how to become more skilled in your profession. People are talking about, you know, stakeholder analysis, elicitation, high level things. But really, when it comes to the examination, these 500 pages in this book, you must have a really intimate understanding of that. And that's why the extractor-led is very important. They're actually making sure that you're well equipped to write the exam, right? The next thing is the study content, right? Like I said, these 6 areas of the BA book, what you'll notice is that the emphasis on different knowledge areas is different for each certification. Because CBAP is the highest certification, and because requirements analysis and design definition is at the heart of what senior business analysts do, you'll see that requirements analysis out of the 6 areas has got the highest weighting exam. So 30% of questions, right, in the exam come from this chapter alone, right? 15% come from requirements lifecycle management and strategy analysis. 14% come from solution evaluation and business analysis planning and monitoring. And then 12% comes from elicitation and collaboration. That will make up 100%. So again, very random, but knowing that your focus must really be on each of these. Again, the beauty about doing instructor-led is like literally what we do at the Skilled Business Analyst. We use each week to go through each one of these chapters, right? At the end of each chapter, practice tests, right? Because each chapter or each knowledge area has got a series of tasks, there's techniques, there's elements, there's different, the way the BA book is structured is really, once you understand the way it's structured, right? For each of these knowledge areas, it will really be easy for you to decipher and see what to do next, right? Okay, CBAP. Any questions on CBAP? I think we spent about 20 minutes going through CBAP. Any questions? How are you guys feeling? Overwhelmed? Or you're like, I can do this? Or it's like, oh my God, Tendai, where do I start? How do you guys feel?
Yes, I personally feel it's something which can be done, but I think it just requires a little bit of assistance and push, especially in terms of the conduct hours and the requirements that are needed for you to be able to qualify. I think that is where the main challenge is. Then in terms of the exam time and the type of questions, yeah, it's quite tricky. I'm talking from an experience of, I sat down for a PMP exam. I can assure you, when I was told that it is about 3.5 hours, I said to myself, that's too much time. But when I got in there, that's when I realized that we don't even have time. So, yeah, I think it's also another, I think it will be part of the training. As we do the training, it is very important now for the trainers to be able now to hammer that in the people's minds. Yeah, because for sure, we take it for granted, but I can assure you it won't be easy. I had the first-hand experience when I sat for the PMP exam. Yeah, it was something else. Yeah.
Thanks for the feedback.
So I think maybe the issue to do with, so I think maybe issue to do with the qualification criteria is where it seems like it's not doable. Yeah.
Upfront, that's where you need to do a lot of due diligence upfront. By the time you get to that's why they give you a year to do this, because you're going to do a lot of diligence. You're going to get in, you're going to sigh a sigh of relief. I'm in. Then it's like, I look at this orange book and you're like, oh gosh, I've got 500 pages, I've got 6 chapters. Where do I start? You know, you need to really just take it in your element. But I believe once you've committed to something, go for it and just don't look back. Someone else was going to say something. Melissa, are you good?
Yes, as I wanted to say, it sounds like something that's easy to do, but in practicality, it's a lot of things that one has to go through in order to get the certification. Confirm this is where the skilled BA comes in to support and like guide in terms of at an individual level. You can do a bit of the work, but I'm sure there's a little bit of some head holding, especially for first timers like some of us, and it would be important to get that type of guidance and hand holding first time around.
Yeah, you're right, Melissa. It's on the surface it seems easy, but once you get into the detail, you guys know, being analysts, everything on the surface, stakeholders come to you saying, oh, we've got this problem, fix it. It's very easy. But once you start uncovering what's going on in the organization, you're like, oh my God, it's like, you know, it's a mountain where people thought it was a molehill. So really, it's about how do you work through it step by step. And you're right, getting a coach, getting someone from the skilled BA to assist you will really help, right? Okay, so let's close the CBAP chapter. If there are no more questions, again, we can revise it. I'm just conscious of time, right? I did book 1.5 hours for the session, and I want to go into the intermediate level for CCBA because I know there's people who also, I'm just looking at the notes that I wrote, people who are also going to be going for intermediate level exams. I think No, Matemba, you're probably going for the entry level, which I'll speak about. But people like Rudo, I think you said you've got, 2 years development experience and so forth. So let's go in and see what CCBA is all about, really. Again, this is intermediate. I'll speak towards what is required, right? So with CCBA, you'll see the requirements much more, not as strict, not as hectic, not as tight as CBAP, right? You've got 3,750 hours of BA work experience in the past 7 years. I think CBAP was more of around 7,500 in the past 10 years. So you'll see this is really, it's really reduced, right? 900 hours completed in 2 of the 6 BA block knowledge areas, or 500 completed in 4. Again, not as stringent, but you need to have at least completed some hours in the knowledge areas, whether it's 902 or whether it's 504, right? 21 hours of professional development. CBAP, I think it was 35. Here it's 21, right? And then again, 2 references. You'll still need 2 references, CBAP recipient or career manager or client, right? And then you'll need an application fee, which is $125. This one is a CBAP recipient. Or, okay, yeah, so 2 references can be a career manager, similar to CBAP, right? Okay, that's at a high level what CCBA is. We can go into more detail into each one of these, but basically what I've said about the CBAP, right, basically applies to CCBA. It's just the requirements are a bit less stringent, right? Again, professional development will be around making sure that you're going to structure-led courses. Your references, again, either CBAP or career manager, or if you're consulting, can be one of your clients. The application fee is the same, and then your numbers in the BA block knowledge areas, right? Very important. Right. Let's go into the exam. So the exam fee, again, $325 if you do become an IIBA member, right? Will be $325. In terms of format and length, you've got 130 multiple choice questions over 3 hours, right? This one is much lighter, again, because you're only looking at scenario based. So you're not looking at case studies. Case study, when it comes to CBAP, is you reading half a page of a case study, then you have to answer. Remember comprehension when we did English, when we were young and we did comprehension. It's exactly like that with CBAP, with case studies, whereas here it's more scenario based. So it's not as intense in terms of what you're reading and what you have to apply. And again, the study content is based on the BA block version 3, which is the current one, right? In terms of the exam focus areas, again, requirements analysis and design definition being the core of what we do as business analysts, very important, accounting for 32%. You've got elicitation and collaboration followed with 20%. Then you've got requirements lifecycle management, 18%. You've got strategy analysis, right, which is 12%. Okay, there's about 6 comments I'll go through. We've got business analysis, planning and monitoring, which is 12%, and solution evaluation, 6%. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to go through Farai's challenge just through the comments so I don't miss them. Ingrid says she's overwhelmed but excited. Farai says challenged but excited. Rachel says, what is percentage mark? I like that question. So Rachel, the IIBA doesn't even publish to say the percentage mark is 70 or 80%. No one knows. Basically, I remember when I was in South Africa, I went to Sandton. Before, you had to go to a testing center. So in South Africa, there's something called Prometric. That's where I went and I had to go. I had to write. You write on the exam. You wait for literally, I think, 5 minutes, right? And then it comes up and says whether you passed or not, but it doesn't even give you a percentage. It just says pass, right? So a lot of people have asked, what is the percentage? But IIBA doesn't release that. They don't release the percentage mark. Nowadays, because of COVID and everything, the CBAP can be taken online in the comfort of your home, right? So if you go to that website, you'll be able to see. Once you're ready to write, you can do it at home. Of course, there's a lot of strict requirements that needs to make sure your camera is angled this way. You don't have this, because they do check, they do monitor, right? So Rachel, I hope that answers your question. Rudo says it's overwhelming, but she's ready to take on the challenge. Yes, I love the enthusiasm. And Diana says commitment, definitely. If you go all in, don't leave things half-hearted. And I know as Zimbabweans, we're very hardworking. We really want to achieve. So I'm confident that everyone will be able to fulfill this to the end, right? So that's CCBA. I didn't go into too much detail because I know most of us wanted the CBAP. The poster was all about CBAP. Any questions about the CCBA for those of you guys who are intermediate? Melissa, are you good? I think that was you. More intermediate. I'm just looking at my sheet. Yes, Rudo. you guys you would probably qualify for intermediate based on what you guys had said in your introductions. If you guys are good, I can move on to the entry-level certificate, which I think Noma Timber would benefit from. Right. Let's move on to entry certificate in business analysis, right? Again, this was introduced recently for those people who are new to the profession, who really want to go into business analysis, right? Again, you can see here, no work experience is required. You don't need references. You don't need, you don't need references. You don't need work experience. You need an application fee, it's only $60, but the professional development here is different, right? This is where I have to say that it's really different. And I'm just gonna scroll down here so I can speak to the professional development here. Right. So for ECBA, the professional development is very different to CBAP and CCBA. CBAP and CCBA has to be instructor-led, right? For ECBA, really you can do chapter events or chapter study groups or conferences qualified, because again, it's entry level, it's BA work experience not required. So you can really go to chapter events or chapter groups. You can also do self-directed learning, right? Which includes reading and studying the BA book. Also any online class, if you want to do instructor-led or any other instructor-led or any other training provided can also work. So when it comes to doing the entry-level certificate, you can definitely do the chapter events and you can document that, and that can qualify as the professional development. But when it comes to the higher levels, they want to make sure that you've gone through the appropriate training, right? And I'll share all of these links once we're done. Right, ECBA, again, the fee, much reasonable, $110. Right, for IIBA members. If you become an IIBA member, I did list the benefit before. 1 hour, it's only 50 multiple choice questions. It's knowledge-based. And again, you use the green book, right? The BA book, that's where you would do your ECBA from, right? And the exam structure is a bit different. It's really, yes, we've got the knowledge areas. You'll see here, they've got the knowledge areas, but they don't cover everything. You'll see there's no solutions, there's no strategy analysis, there's no solution evaluation. Those are more for the high levels. Here, they're just talking about business analysis, planning and monitoring. Think of when you're junior level business analyst, you do a bit of elicitation, you do manage requirements here, there, and then you do, of course, requirements analysis and design definition. So that's like covers half of the exam, right? Then the other half is all about what is business analysis? What is the BA professional? Because again, this is entry level. What are the key concepts that are used? Any underlying competencies and techniques. Techniques, just as an FYI, there are 50 business analysis techniques listed in the BA book. So if you're doing entry level business analysis, the certificate, right, really it covers 17%. So you really need to understand the techniques for the exam. Any questions on the ECBA? Thank you. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate your time, and we will be in touch. I will send through a survey just to get to know more about each one of you guys. I'll put it on the chat, right? Okay, guys, we've covered CBAP, we've covered CCBA, and we've covered ECBA. Any questions?
Hi, Tendai, I have a question.
Yes, Sam.
Sorry to keep bringing you back.
No worries. No worries. Please. Let's make sure that we're on the same page and there's clarity. I'm welcome to questions. Yeah.
So I know you mentioned that there's the 35 hours instructor-led training that's required, and then as part of certifying for CBAP, you actually there's, I don't know if I should actually call it training, but there's some sort of mentorship or relationship that we're going to have between myself as a candidate and skilled business analyst, right? Do those contact hours count for the 35? If so, are the number of hours that I would do as a member of the SBA course come up to 35?
Yes. So the once you enroll with SBA for your CBAP, right? I usually do it over 8 weeks. 6 weeks is we're going into each one of those knowledge areas. The first week is an introduction. 6 weeks, we're going through each of those knowledge areas. The last week, we're probably covering techniques and probably doing exam simulations. So the 8 weeks that we spend together, 100% count towards the continuous professional development. In fact, because it's 8 weeks and it's 5 hours per weekend, it's actually 40 hours. So you'll even have 5 hours over, 5 hours on top of the 35, right? And again, you can put the skilled business analyst, you actually put the details of the company to say that this is the guys that are trained for. So if you do sign up for the course, you will meet the requirements. But if, for example, you sign up and you say, Tendai, I want coaching and elicitation, I want to be coached to understand how to do requirements gathering better, those kind of coaching sessions one-on-one, that wouldn't count as professional, 35 hours of professional development, if that makes sense. So there's a coaching aspect, which is totally different from the courses or the training.
Okay. Then maybe if a pickup from based on the response that you shared. Okay, sorry, I think I'm losing my thought.
No.
But,
go ahead.
Oh yeah, I wanted to know the level of preparation. So hypothetically, I'm a client coming into SBA. You'll actually help me to fill in the 7,500 kind of sheet. That's
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, correct.
So what level of preparation
those are the
do I individual
okay
to come to you? What do you expect? What should I have done before I come to say I want to start with you as SBA?
Great question. Yeah, great question. Thanks, Sam. So those are the value-added services that I would say Skilled BA offers you. So I think I would expect you to come to Skilled BA having documented even on Excel to say, these are the past 10 years, this is what I've done, these are my projects. I'll then work with you to identify, to say, okay, Sam, when you're saying you did this actually falls into this knowledge area. So when you're writing it on your application form, word it like this, because you want to make sure that the way you're wording your experience and everything is in line with the terminology that they use in BA Box, so that when they look at your application, they're like, okay, this guy, he knows we're speaking about strategy analysis and so forth. So the level of preparation that I would say you would need is just self-reflection on your career, noting down the projects that you've done, noting down what you've done in those projects, the number of hours, so that when it comes now to actually filling out your application, it's much easier for us to just pick up from where you've left, rather than for you starting to think about it because of time, starting to think about it when we actually engaged, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And then maybe the tail end of that same question was around the level of preparation, apart from the actual portfolio of evidence. I'm talking about maybe, do I need to have maybe gone through the BABOK 500 pages by myself?
No. So yeah, so when it comes, good question. Yeah, so when it comes to the actual content, right, for the BA block, that's where I have you covered. Literally every single chapter of the BA block. Remember, I'm a CBAP recipient myself. I've summarized each of these chapters. So once you come and we start with, strategy analysis, I'll give you a breakdown information, I'll give you a summary sheet, I'll walk you through everything. So in terms of the preparation, of course, the self-study you would have to do is once we've had the course, the hours or the session on a specific knowledge area, I would expect you to take that course material that I would have given you. I would expect you to read through that chapter, summarize it for yourself, come next week prepared to answer if you've got any questions, right? And then we'll move on to the next knowledge area, if that makes sense. So when it comes to the actual studying, I am your guide. I will assist you and I will give you notes and so forth, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. So I think I'd like to upgrade my response to your earlier question.
Yes.
Before, I was feeling pretty, nervous and tepid about it. Like, oh my God, 7,500 hours and reading 500-page book and all that and all that.
Yes.
I think with the outline of what you said, would be able to go through. I do it with you, then I think it's fairly straightforward. Actually, it's not even that hard.
Yes.
The only hard part is probably remembering what I did 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's straightforward. It just seems overwhelming. Like I said, for me, it took me a long time because I did it by myself, and then I did training on its own, right? But I think with the help of someone who's in that industry, who understands the requirements, who understands what's known, I think you guys will be on a good footing.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Those were all my questions.
You're welcome. Thanks, Sam. Thank you. Okay, any other questions, guys? Okay. Right, so why do your professional development with us? So we've gone through overview of IIBA, I've taken you through various chapters in terms of what each certification is about. Again, why do professional development with skilled BA? Like I said, it's online, certified industry experts with knowledge, with experience. We've got a proven track history of success, right? Outcome learning oriented, like for each knowledge area. Like I said, I cover each knowledge area in great detail. I make sure that you understand all the concepts. I make sure that we don't move on to the next before you've understood what you need to know, right? Again, also simulation practice tests, right? At the end of each chapter, I try and give tests, right? You actually go in and you write a test on that specific knowledge area and you see how you score, and you can go home and you can re-practice again, right? So I think it's very important that when you are considering a training provider, look to make sure that they're able to offer you all of this. What I've noticed is that there's a lot of people who train out of there, but a lot of people are out there to make money. It's very important to make sure that you choose a professional development firm or training consultancy that's really passionate about making sure that you're a success, if you know what I mean. And that's really open to make sure that whenever you've got questions, the door's always open. You can always bounce back. We can make sure that you guys understand what you're doing, right? So before we even go on to the survey, and before I close off, I just want to make sure, I just want to put it out there to say, you know, when we started off the session, you guys had specific outcomes that you wanted out of the question, out of the session. Have these been met? Is there anything else that you guys want me to clarify? Or have what you said when we did our introduction, do you have some sort of idea? I'm not expecting you to be experts, but do you have some sort of takeaways that you can start using right now, or next steps that you've got noted down in terms of what you want to do? You can let me know in the chat, or you can feel free to just chat. Silence is golden. Can I assume that silence means, and we're good, we're ready to do this. We are ready to get certified and make sure we've got a global presence. Thank you, T. Tendai said she's good from her side. Okay, Farai says he's very much answered. He's ready to go now. That's good, guys. Movement, I'm just going to call on you guys. Movement, are you good?
Yeah, yes, I'm okay. I think maybe the last thing, I don't know if I missed that, if I could get your contact details so that we can arrange for the one-on-one sessions that you spoke about.
Sure, sure. I'll provide those at the end of the session. Thanks, Movement. I'll provide that. Rudo, are you good?
Yes, today I am good. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, Rachel, you good as well? Okay, thanks, Rachel. Thanks, Diana. Nomatemba, are you good? Diana spoke on chat. Ingrid spoke on chat. Farai spoke. Okay, guys, I think most of us have spoken. I've put in here, I'll put the link again. I think I'll probably just send it to Ingrid. I'll put the link again to the survey, right? The survey is really you guys just giving me more information about yourself in terms of when you want to write the exam. Is it the next 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, right? And what level are you looking at writing? Very important, right? So, guys, really, it's been an absolute pleasure. Yes, Farai. All right.
Hi, Tennis. Sorry for just coming in.
No worries.
You have just reminded me of a question which I had forgot to ask. How long would you say one needs? Just like how much time do I need before I take on the exam?
Yeah. So I would say that let's say you apply, you're approved, you come and you train with me over a period of 8 weeks. I would give yourself another month just to revise everything, right? So you'll train another month, and I think you'll be ready to write. So I think you'll be ready to write in 3 months. So you'll train with me for 8 weeks, which is about two months, right? And again, it's over a long period because we're doing it weekends and we're only doing 5 hours. But the beauty about doing it that way is that you're focusing on a knowledge area per week. You know that this week I'm only doing elicitation and collaboration, right? And then once the 8 weeks are done, you take 4 weeks just to revise by yourself. And you can even take less. It depends how much time you've got. I'm really speaking about someone who's got a 9-to-5 job, who's probably only got evenings and weekends to work, you know. But really, if you're going to be dedicated 100%, this you can literally do within, I don't know, 2.5 months. But really, I would say 3 months is a comfortable benchmark, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yes, it does.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tendai. Yeah.
You're welcome. Okay, guys. It's really been a pleasure chatting to you guys, getting to know the Zimbabwe BA community. I'm hoping that the community grows, and I know it will grow. The more people that are certified, the more evangelists that we have for business analysis back home. And you know, I'm always here for support. Even from a coaching perspective, I do offer 30 minutes free initial assessment. If you tell me besides certifications, you want to improve in various other aspects of being a business analyst, I'm here to help. Again, like I said, these are all my social media handles in terms of the Skilled Business Analyst. In the chat, I'm going to put our email address here. Right, if you want to reach me on anything, please do send me an email to info@theskilledbusinessanalyst.com, info@theskilledba.com. I will get your email, or if you can send me a message on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on YouTube, wherever. I've tried to make sure that we've got a good social presence. And I really hope to, next year this time, most of you guys will be certified. Who knows, most of you guys will be able to really play on a global stage. Like I said, once you've got CBAP, trust me, employers do take note. I'm involved in some hiring panels at my company where we're looking at BAs. Like I said, we also look, are you certified or not? So really, it's out of, you know, when they say when you apply, it's like taking out a needle in a haystack. Trust me, when they do look at your CV and they do see an IIBA certification, it puts you on a different level. So thank you so much, Samuel and Farah. I really appreciate you guys giving me this platform to share what I do, to share my passion. Thank you so much, and I hope we will be in touch soon. Please feel free to reach me on the email address. I'll also give you my phone number as well. It's all over on my website as well. So if you do want to reach me on my phone, on WhatsApp, we can chat as well, right? Thank you, guys. Farai, Sam, any parting words from you guys before I end the call?
Yeah, I'm sure Farai has some words.
Farai, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I think first of all, let me thank you, Tendai. Really, it's been in a long time coming. Where we've been searching for people who could assist us with information to do with how to get certified. Yes, we've been networking, I think mainly with the South African chapter, but information to do with certification, I think that's what we didn't have, and really would want to thank you for this. Thank you for taking time on a Sunday, Sunday morning, your side now, to be with us, and we really appreciate this. And yeah, we will definitely be in touch. I think you can count me and Sam in. We definitely are going to be doing the course with you.
Thank you, Farah. You're very welcome. Like I said, this is I don't even see it as as you know, work or anything. I really see it as giving back, and I'm really grateful for you guys. And it's so great to see professional development within the BA community back home. And I wish and I hope, my hope is that it continues to grow, and you guys will all become thought leaders for the BA profession back home. Right, guys, thank you so much. I'm going to stop recording and I will stop sharing my screen. Thank you so much. Please feel free to reach me out on my details that I've given you guys, and have a blessed Sunday.